Hello and a warm welcome to All This Week by latestlaws.com. This is a weekly program, so hit the bell icon to get notification for new videos. My name is Sheetal Joon, Associate Editor, latestlaws.com. I will be taking you through the significant orders and judgments passed by various courts in the country and some important international news from this week. Let's begin with Supreme Court this week. The Supreme Court has made a significant ruling stating that the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code supersedes the provisions of the Electricity Act 2003. This decision came in response to an appeal filed by Paschimmanchal Vidyut Vitran Nigam (PVVNL) against a National Company Law Appellate Tribunal order. The case involved unpaid electricity dues owed by Raman Ispat Private Limited to PVVNL, which led to the attachment of Raman Ispat's property. A Supreme Court bench of Justice A.S. Bopanna and Justice Sundaresh reiterated that journalists should not take the law into their own hands while highlighting the case of a journalist who has denied anticipatory bail by the Madhya Pradesh High Court. The journalist had attempted to expose an illegal child trafficking racket but was accused of seeking illegal gratification to suppress the news. In a bid to end the impasse between the Delhi government and the Delhi Lieutenant Governor over the appointment of Delhi Electricity Regulator Commission Chairman, the Supreme Court bench comprising of Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice P.S. Narasimha and Justice Manoj Mishra has decided to take matters into their own hands. The court expressed his intention to appoint a pro-term chairperson for the DERC. The appointment would be on ad hoc basis, temporarily fulfilling the responsibilities until a final resolution is reached. The Supreme Court has issued a significant ruling stating that the school transfer certificates cannot be relied upon the determination of age of a person in cases under the POCSO Act. The court held that according to Section 94 of the Juvenile Justice Act, specific documents must be relied upon to determine the age in such cases. The Supreme Court has recently issued a judgment emphasizing that a claim petition seeking compensation for death or injury in a motor accident case should be established based on preponderance of probabilities rather than the standard of proof beyond reasonable doubt. The court's decision came during the hearing of an appeal challenging a ruling by the Kerala High Court, which had quashed a final report in a motor accident case on the grounds that the incident was an unavoidable accident and not attributable to negligence on part of the appellant's son. Now let's have an overview of High Courts. The Jharkhand High Court has quashed criminal proceedings filed in connection with a dispute over a land agreement and held that there is a tendency to use the proceedings before the criminal court to settle scores or to pressurize parties to settle civil disputes, and the present case was purely a civil dispute, and the continuation of criminal proceedings will amount to an abuse of process of the court. The Delhi High Court has commended the Union government's effort to combat substance abuse and urged it to continue its sustained attention and multifaceted approach towards addressing this critical issue. A division bench comprising of Chief Justice Satish Chandra Sharma and Justice Sanjeev Narula highlighted that the widespread impact of substance abuse demands continuous efforts from the government to protect public health and contribute to the betterment of society. The Bombay High Court has emphasized the need for sensitizing the entire police force across the state of Maharashtra in dealing with the cases related to same-sex couples in conflict with their families. The court made this statement during the hearing of a plea filed by a lesbian couple seeking protection against a missing girl complaint filed by one of their parents objecting to their relationship. The Guwahati High Court has delivered a verdict stating that the railways cannot deny reimbursements of goods and services tax on account of price variations solely based on the fact that the output tax was paid during the input tax credit through an electronic credit ledger. The single judge bench of the Kerala High Court has held in a case that in cases of unnatural death registered under Section 174 of the Criminal Procedure Code, culminating in the non-registration of FIR under Section 154 of the CRPC, on the ground that no cognizable offence is revealed, the executive magistrate shall inform the same to the relatives of the deceased. The Bombay High Court has raised concern about the criminalization of consensual sexual relationships involving minors and called for a shift in approach towards adolescents' sexuality, while acquitting a 25-year-old in a case of consensual sexual relationship with a 17-year-old. The court noted that such cases overburden the judicial system and often results in acquittals. The court emphasized the need to strike a balance between protecting children against sexual abuse and respecting their autonomy. The Bombay High Court bench comprising of Justice K.R. Shriram and Justice Firdosh Parizo Poonawala held that in the Income Tax Office's responsibility to conduct the required inquiries and draw appropriate conclusions regarding whether the amounts invested in purchasing drafts should be considered as part of the assessor's total income for the relevant year. The court further emphasized that the alleged failure to disclose fully and truly all material facts did not result in the income chargeable to tax escaping assessments. The Bombay High Court bench comprising of Justice K.R. Shriram and Justice Firdosh Firoz Poonawala held that it is the Income Tax Office's responsibility to conduct the required inquiries and draw appropriate conclusions regarding whether the amounts invested in purchasing drafts should be considered as part of the assessee's total income for the relevant year. The court further emphasized that the alleged failure to disclose fully and truly all material facts did not result in the income chargeable to tax escaping assessment. The court deemed it a case of oversight on part of the officer and ruled that the officer cannot utilize Section 147A to rectify the error stemming from their oversight. Moving on to miscellaneous news this week. Protocol facilities made available to judges should not be used in a manner which cause inconveniences to others to bring public criticism to the judiciary, CJI D.Y. Chandrachud has said in a letter to the Chief Justices of all the High Courts. CJI Chandrachud in his letter expressed displeasure over a recent incident in which a judge of the Allahabad High Court sought explanation from the railway authorities for not meeting his requirements during a train journey. The Union Cabinet on Wednesday cleared changes to the mediation bill which makes mediation voluntary instead of mandatory as provided for the original bill tabled in Rajya Sabha in December 2021. The bill seeking to provide statutory backing to mediation was sent to the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Law, which had recommended reducing the time limit by half and also making it voluntary for parties. In the end, we have international news. The International Criminal Court has rejected an appeal filed by the Philippines government to block an investigation by the prosecutors into former President Rodrigo Duterte's bloody war on drugs. The decision came after ICC said in January it would revive its investigation into possible crime against humanity during Duterte's tenure. More than 6,000 people have been killed in anti-drug operations since Duterte launched his controversial drug war soon after taking office in 2016, according to the police data. Many of the extrajudicial killings of suspected drug offenders have occurred in the poorest areas of the country, and an independent monitor believed that the number of those killed could be much higher. In a case of covering drivers' work-related expenses, Uber Technologies is expected to face a California lawsuit according to the state's top court. If lost by Uber, the case can be a major blow to the companies in the largest US state and a win for labor advocates. In a unanimous ruling, the California Supreme Court said that Uber Eats driver Eric Adolph refused to give up his right under the state to sue, even though he signed an agreement to bring his own work-related legal claims in private arbitration. Uber Eats driver Eric Adolph sued Uber in 2019. He claimed that the company misclassified Uber Eats drivers as independent contractors rather than employees who must be reimbursed for work expenses under California law. The company is facing lawsuit under California's Private Attorney General Act, PAGA. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. This is a weekly program, and to get more information, please check the description box, and for weekly updates, like and subscribe to our channel.